All right, welcome to the next tactic. It's called discovered attacks and discovered checks. Um, these videos and these challenges that we're looking at is more of an example to give you the possibility and the range that these tactics have, the wide and varied application that they have in games and puzzles. But if you'd like to try them as a challenge, you can always try all of this in your Lichess account and then come and watch the video. Okay, and if you're not able to get it, no worries at all. These are actually very, very tough puzzles. Okay, let's get going here. So the first one is quite simple. Now first let's understand what discovered attack is. Discovered attack is nothing but two attacks at the same time. So in this case, for example, when the knight gives a check, one attack is knight attacking the king and the other attack is rook attacking the queen. Now the rook attacking the queen was already there, but you discovered it only when the knight moved, therefore giving you a chance to capture the queen and win the game. Let's go to discovered check. So this is very, very similar to the previous one. It just kind of interchanged. So the discovered check comes in first, where you try and attack the queen and thereby win the queen with the knight this time. Discovered attack number 2. I hope you were able to do this. This was not really that very hard. All you had to do was move and try and attack two pieces at the same time. So when one rook saves himself, the other rook is vulnerable and can be captured. Discovered check number 2. So the key pattern that you had to identify was that the rook was actually attacking the knight. However, while you thought that I could move here and get a fork between king and queen, that's not really the best answer, because the correct answer here is knight g6 check, because when king is forced to move to the edge of the board, knight takes rook is a checkmate, and that's not an easy one to crack. But I think this was actually a Morphy game. All right, discovered attack number 3. What do you need to see here? This is definitely a hard one, not easy at all. But the key point here is to be able to capture this pawn. Now if he takes this up, then bishop takes bishop check, and once the king moves, you take the rook, and thereby you can win the game, because now you got a bishop, you lost a knight, which were equal, but you did get a rook, and that gives you a winning position. Let's go to discover check number 3. You're white. How do you actually exploit this position? The idea is with this particular check. Now king will not come to e8 because he would end up losing his bishop. Now since he moved there, what you could do here is to actually enjoy a discovered check by moving your rook here. So when he takes your bishop, you take his rook, and thereby you get into a winning position. Discovered attack number 4. This is a nice one, and the simple idea here is you kind of sacrifice your rook because you end up getting a checkmate here, and since he wants to prevent the checkmate, he would end up losing his rook. Discovered check number 4. This is a tricky one, and it's actually another tactic called double check, which also comes in very handy. And the key move here, it's almost a magic move, which is queen moves and sacrifices himself. And when the king takes it, you have a double attack, a double check in fact, a check from the bishop and check from the knight. And when the king is forced to move back, you have a checkmate. Discovered attack number 5. What do you do in this case? You realize that the queen is attacking the other queen. So the key thing that you need is an x-ray attack. That's what we call an x-ray attack. And all you need to do is move your bishop away. But you need to find the right move, because if you could move your bishop, say, to a3, you would be attacking his rook, but you would end up losing your queen first. You will have to defend your queen, take back your queen, and then his rook can escape. So the correct move here is to actually attack the bishop, because you can do an in-between move here by first capturing the bishop, giving a check. Once the king moves, then you take it back with either your bishop or your pawn, doesn't matter. And that gives you a winning position. Discover check number 5. What could help you win this game? It's kind of dead equal, but white has a slight advantage thanks to a 7th rank pawn. So the correct move here is queen sacrificing himself, and when the rook takes it, you do not take the rook back, but rather promote it into a queen. And when the queen moves in here, you take it back with the rook, and that gives you a huge advantage of winning the game. So discovered, attack, pins, forks, these form like the crux of chess. You know, they're the weapons of chess. So learning these tactics, spending time looking at these puzzles, and being able to reach a level where you could solve these puzzles with maybe the first or second attempt would make it wonderful. It is the very basis of it, right? I'll see you in the next tactic. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you did attempt these puzzles, please leave a comment rating these puzzles as easy, medium, tough, and please leave how many of these 10 puzzles could you solve within the first or second attempt. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.